Chapter 1. Welcome to Merryweather High. It is my first morning of high school. I have 7 new notebooks, a skirt I hate, and a stomachache. The school bus wheezes to my corner. The door opens and I step up. I'm the first pickup of the day. The driver pulls away from the curb while I stand in the aisle. Where to sit? I've never been a backseat waste case. If I sit in the middle, a stranger could sit next to me. If I sit in the front, it'll make me look like a little kid. But I figure it's the best chance I have to make eye contact with one of my friends, if any of them have decided to talk to me yet. The bus picks up students in groups of 4 or 5. As they walk down the aisle, people who are my middle school lab partners or gym buddies glare at me. I close my eyes. This is what I've been dreading. As we leave the last stop, I'm the only person sitting alone. The driver downshifts to drag us over the hills. The engine clanks, which makes the guys in the back holler something obscene. Someone is wearing too much cologne. I try to open my window, but the little latches won't move. A guy behind me unwraps his breakfast and shoots the wrapper at the back of my head. It bounces into my lap. A ho-ho. The janitor's painting over the sign in front of the high school. The school board has decided that Merryweather High, home of the Trojans, didn't send a strong absence message, so they have transformed us into the Blue Devils. Better the Devils you know than the Trojans you don't, I guess. School colors will stay purple and gray. The board didn't want to spring for new uniforms. Older students are allowed to roam until the bell, but 9th graders are herded into the auditorium. We fall into clans: jocks, country clubbers, idiot savants, cheerleaders, human waste, Eurotrash, future fascists of America, big-haired chicks, the Marthas, the suffering artists, the Thesperians, goths, shredders. I am clanless. I wasted the last weeks of August watching bad cartoons. I didn't go to the mall, the lake, or the pool, or answer the phone. I have entered high school with the wrong hair, the wrong clothes, the wrong attitude, and I don't have anyone to sit with. I am outcast. There's no point looking for my ex-friends. Our clan, the Plain Janes, has splintered and the pieces are being absorbed by the rival fractions. Nicole lounges with the jocks, comparing scars from summer league sports. Ivy floats between the suffering artists on one side of the aisle and the Thesperians on the other. She has enough personality to travel with 2 packs. Jessica has moved to Nevada. No real loss. She was mostly Ivy's friend anyways. The kids behind me laugh so loud, I know they're laughing about me. I can't help myself. I turn around. It's Rachel. Surrounded by a bunch of kids wearing clothes that most definitely did not come from the East Side Mall. Rachel Byrne, my ex-best friend. She stares at something above my left ear. Words climb up my throat. This was the girl who suffered through brownies with me, who taught me how to swim, who understood about my parents, who didn't make fun of my bedroom. If there is anyone in this entire galaxy I am dying to tell what really happened, it's Rachel. My throat burns. Her eyes meet mine for a second. I hate you, she mouths silently. She turns her back to me and laughs with her friends. I bite my lip. I'm not going to think about it. It was ugly, but it's over. And I'm not going to think about it. My lip bleeds a little. It tastes like metal. I need to sit down. I stand in the center aisle of the auditorium. A wounded zebra in National Geographic Special. Looking for someone, anyone, to sit next to. A predator approaches. Gray jock buzz cut. Whistle around a neck, thicker than his head. Probably a social studies teacher, Hired to coach a blood sport. Mr. Nick. Sit. I grab a seat. The wounded zebra turns and smiles at me. She's packing at least 5 grams worth of orthodontia, but has great shoes. I'm Heather from Ohio, she says. I'm new here. Are you? I don't have time to answer. The lights dim and the indoctrination begins. The first 10 lies they tell you in high school. Number 1, we are here to help you. Number 2, you will have enough time to get to your class before the bell rings. Number 3, the dress code will be enforced. Number 4, no smoking is allowed on school grounds. Number 5, our football team will win the championship this year. Number 6, we expect more of you here. Number 7, guidance counselors are always available to listen. Number 8, your schedule was created with your needs in mind. Number 9, your locker combination is private. Number 10, these will be the years you look back on fondly. My first class is biology. I can't find it and get my first demerit for wandering the hall. It's 8:50 in the morning. Only 699 days and 7 class periods until graduation. Chapter 2. Our teachers are the best. My English teacher has no face. She has uncombed, strangly hair that droops on her shoulders. The hair is black from her part to her ears and then neon orange to the frizzy ends. I can't decide if she had pissed off her hairdresser or is morphing into a monarch butterfly. I call her Hair Woman. Hair Woman wastes 20 minutes taking attendance because she won't look at us. She keeps her head bent over her desk so the hair flops in front of her face. She spends the rest of class writing on the board and speaking to the flag about our required reading. She wants us to write in our class journals every day, but promises not to read them. I write about how weird she is. We have journals in social studies too. The school must have gotten a good price on journals. We are studying American history for the 9th time in 9 years. Another review of map skills, 1 week of Native Americans, Christopher Columbus in time for Columbus Day, the Pilgrims in time for Thanksgiving. Every year they say we're going to get right up to the present, but we always get stuck in the Industrial Revolution. We got to World War I in 7th grade. Who knew there had been a war with the whole world? We need more holidays to keep social study teachers on track. My social studies teacher is Mr. Neck, the same guy who growled at me to sit down in the auditorium. He remembers me fondly. I got my eye on you. Front row. Nice seeing you again, too. I bet he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. Vietnam or Iraq, one of those TV wars. Chapter 3. Spotlight. I find my locker after social studies. The lock sticks a little, but I open it. I dive into the stream of 4th period lunch students and swim down the hall to the cafeteria. I know enough not to bring lunch on the first day of high school. There is no way of telling what the acceptable fashion will be. Brown bags, humble testament to suburbia, or terminal geek gear. Insulated lunch bags, hip way to save the planet, or sign of an over-involved mother. Buying is the only solution, and it gives me time to scan the cafeteria for a friendly face or an inconspicuous corner. The hot lunch is turkey with reconstituted dried mashed potatoes and gravy, a damp green vegetable, and a cookie. I'm not sure how to order anything else, so I just slide my tray along and let the lunch drones fill it. This 8-foot senior in front of me somehow gets 3 cheeseburgers, French fries, and 2 ho-hos without saying a word. Some sort of Morse code with his eyes, maybe? Must study this further. I follow the basketball pole into the cafeteria. I see a few friends. People I used to think were my friends. But they look away. Think fast. Think fast. There's that new girl, Heather, reading by the window. I could sit across from her, or I could crawl behind a trash can, or maybe I could dump my lunch straight into the trash can and keep moving right on out the door. The basketball pole waves to a table of friends. Of course, the basketball team. They all swear at him, a bizarre greeting practiced by athletic boys with zits. He smiles and throws a ho-ho. I try to scoot around him. Thwop! A lump of potatoes and gravy hits me square in the center of my chest. All conversation stops as the entire lunchroom gawks, my face burning into their retinas. I will forever be known as that girl who got nailed by potatoes the first day. The basketball pole apologizes and says something else, but 400 people explode in laughter, and I can't read lips. I ditch my tray and bolt for the door. I motor so fast out of the lunchroom, the track coach would draft me for varsity if he were around. But no, Mr. Neck has cafeteria duty, and Mr. Neck has no use for girls who can run the 100 in under 10 seconds, unless they're willing to do it while holding onto a football. Mr. Neck, we meet again. Me. Would he listen to, I need to go home and change? Or, did you see what that bozo did? Not a chance. I keep my mouth shut. Mr. Neck, where do you think you're going? Me. It is easier not to say anything. Shut your trap, button your lip, can it. All that crap you hear on TV about communication and expressing your feelings is a lie. Nobody really wants to hear what you have to say. Mr. Neck makes a note in his book. I knew you were trouble the first time I saw you. I've taught here for 24 years, and I can tell what's going on in a kid's head just by looking in their eyes. No more warnings. You just earned yourself a demeanor for wandering the halls without a pass.